So we're going to add, subtract, and multiply polynomials. The part of the word poly means many, and nomials means terms. So this is something with more than one term. Now terms, there's a typo on your note sheet. In this polynomial, the terms are x cubed negative 6x squared, because this is like x cubed plus a negative 6x squared plus a 5x plus a negative 12. So the terms are x cubed, negative 6x squared, 5x, and negative 12. So a polynomial is a sum means addition, of terms that have positive integer exponents. We will, a little later this year, deal with exponents where it's x to the negative 2 or x to the negative 3, or even fractional exponents x to the 1/2. In this case, these exponents are positive integers. To add and subtract polynomials, first we need to get rid of these parentheses. And there's always, if you don't see a number in front of there, it's like a 1. So the first thing I would expect you to do is to distribute, in this case, positive 1 to each set of parentheses. And yes, this is required work. 5x squared minus 3x plus 7. Distributing a positive 1 to the second set of parentheses is going to give me plus 8x squared plus 10x plus 25. Once the parentheses are gone, now I'm going to go through and I'm going to underline my like terms with the same underlining under the like terms and a different kind of underline under other sets of like terms. And we've done this previously this year. Your answers need to be written in standard form. Standard form means variables go first in alphabetical order. In this case, they're all x's, so I don't need to worry about that. Largest exponent first. And then the very last term is going to be my constant. So my x squareds need to go before my x's, need to go before my constants. So 5x squared plus, because of the plus right directly in front of the 8x squared, is 13x squared. Looking at my x's, treat this as a negative 3x plus 10x gives me a positive 7x, so plus 7x. And positive 7 plus 25 is a positive 32. What I just did is minimum work for this problem. I want you to take a minute to distribute to get rid of those parentheses before you do this underlining, before you combine your like terms and write your answer in standard form. So positive 1 in front of this set of parentheses is going to give me 8x cubed plus 4x plus 10. With the minus here, though, this is like distributing a negative 1 to everything in the parentheses. So it's minus 7x cubed minus 3x squared plus 15x and plus 30. Don't forget to distribute the negative 1 to everything in the parentheses. So I've got an x cubed term in each of these. I've got just a single x squared term. I've got an x term here and an x term here. And then I've got my constants. Standard form, x to the third power would go first. 8x to the third power minus 7x to the third power is 1x to the third power, or just x cubed. X squared would go next. There's only one of those, so just minus 3x squared. A plus 4x and a plus 15x gives me a plus 19x. And my constant, positive 10 plus 30, is going to make this a plus 40. Again, what I did, with the exception of this, although it's a good idea for some people to remind themselves to take that negative all the way through, that is minimum work for this problem. Distributing. Well, this is a monomial because it has a single term, mono, single. 5x times x is 5x squared. 5x times a negative 7 is a negative or minus 35x. I can't combine these because they're not like terms. They're written in the correct order, so I'm done. 3 times x squared is 3x squared. 3 times a negative 10 is going to give me a minus 30 here. And 3 times a positive 7x is a plus 21x. This cannot be my final answer, though. It's not written in standard form. this x term should not be written after the constant. So this should be 3x squared plus 21x minus 30. Again, this is a monomial, mono meaning one, so monomial times a polynomial. Now when I have two binomials together, bi means two, so 2 terms times another 2 terms, I can use something called FOIL. Notice that I was just using the distributive property here. If I say something and multiplied by things in parentheses, everything in the parentheses gets multiplied by what's up front. Well, that's really what's happening here too. It means the whole x minus 7, each one of those terms has to be multiplied by each one of the terms here. So what I'm really doing when I FOIL, and you don't need to write this, so I'll put it in a different color, I'm taking this x in the first one times the x plus 9 in the second one, and then I'm going to take the negative 7 in the first one and distribute it to the x plus 9 in the second one. Well, when I do that, notice the x times the x, those are the first terms in each set of parentheses. So F stands for first. And then the x in the first one gets multiplied by the 9 in the second one if I continue this distributive property. Well, those are the two outside terms, the furthest ones to the outside. And then the negative 7 gets multiplied by the x in the middle. Those are the inside terms. And then the negative 7 and the positive 9 get multiplied together. Those are the last terms in each set of parentheses. So FOIL, first, outside, inside, last, is just a way to do the distributive property with binomials. It's really distributing the x to the x plus 9 and then the negative 7 to the x plus 9. So when I do that, I end up with, let me get back to my red here. First, x times x is x squared. Outside, x times positive 9 is a plus 9x. Inside, negative 7 times x is a negative or minus 7x. And last, negative 7 times positive 9 is negative 63. Now I do have like terms in this case to combine. So my final answer, x squared plus 2x minus 63. First, 2x times 3x is 6x squared. The 2 times 3 is 6. The x times x is x squared. Outside, 2x times a positive 1 gives me a plus 2x. Inside, negative 10 times 3x gives me a minus 30x. And last, negative 10 times positive 1 gives me a minus 10x. I still have like terms. This doesn't always happen. Most of the time, this time it will. So 6x squared, this is going to give me a minus 28x. Oops, I shouldn't have had an x on that last one. It should have just been minus 10. And then minus 10. So, now, FOIL